So, to show you the base movement of Warframe, I've picked Atlas, which is one of the worst base mobility Warframes. And as you can see here, it's an unmodded Atlas. So, W is to go forward, that's pretty direct and easy. But what you gotta know is that mouse also helps to move. It points the direction where you want to move. S is to go backwards, A and D, left, right. Pretty obvious, pretty easy everything. You can move pretty fast as you can see here. Now, jump. You have a simple jump and double jump. To do double jump, you just need to tap 2 times on space. And then you just look somewhere. Or not. That's your decision. You just need to... As you can see, double jump is pretty easy to chain. So when it looks like you're going down, you just press it another time and that's it. You can also do it midair, dropping from somewhere. It's also another option there is. Now, onto some more complicated stuff. Wall riding, wall jumping. Wall jumping is simply done by going towards a wall and just spamming space. Now, if you want to go in another direction, you need to actually point your mouse in the direction you want to go while pressing space. As you can see here, that's how it works. Of course, if there's an obstacle, you will get blocked. But here is when your mouse control comes into place. You just need to look where you want to go. You press the space, and as you can see, you can easily follow the wall. It's not very complicated. It's actually quite easy. You just need to keep pressing space. Nothing very fancy. Now, another movement which Dark Souls fans are very used. Roll. Rolling is done with shift and looking in a direction. Now rolling, some people may argue it's useless in Warframe, but I think it's one of the most useful movements. Because with rolling, you can move fast without actually jumping, without leaving the ground and being airborne, which in some situations can be dangerous. It can also help you recover some messed up jumps really quickly. And you can spam it indefinitely, just like wall riding. There is no stamina here, so you can just point somewhere, roll, and that's it. Now do keep in mind that even if you point with the mouse in another direction and you roll, the roll is going to go in the direction you press the key. We've gotten the basic controls out of the way. Let's talk about roll jumping, which is a maneuver I wish it had been taught to me before. To do a roll jump, you basically need to press a space and then shift. So it's basically like a jump that devolves into a roll. And then after that roll, you can do another jump. So basically you can spam shift and space alternatively, like very fast, and you will do roll jumps. Now, let's talk about some other useful maneuvers. Gliding. Gliding is done when you press mouse 2 while jumping. Normally mouse 2 serves to aim, but if you press it while jumping, something magical happens. Time slows down, and you actually can control with a combination of your mouse and your keyboard where you actually want to land. So if you combined a roll jump with gliding, you get a quite interesting way to leap and move without losing control of your Warframe. It also happens to increase your distance traveled in the air, so if you keep that mouse 2 pressed, you will travel further. Now do note that gliding is not infinite. There's a limit. If you glide X time, there will be a moment where you cannot glide anymore. This is done to avoid spicy bugs, of course. Now, that is all fine and dandy, but this is not the movements you want to use normally. The basic movement in Warframe is the bullet jump. Now, let's talk about crouching. You can crouch in Warframe with control, and you can move while crouched. As you can see here, I seem like a little elf. But here's something magical. If I move while crouched, and I happen to press space, I will perform a kind of twisted jump, a leap in where am I pointing with my mouse. It's very important that you keep in mind that where your mouse points is where the bullet jump will go. You need to think that you move with your you need to think you move with your mouse and your keyboard, and basically it's not that difficult to synchronize. So you may think it's super hard to synchronize, but no, it's actually very easy to synchronize. You just need to press Ctrl and space at the same time. If you mess it up, you will just do a simple double jump, so don't stress it out. Oh, and you can go in different directions. So as you can see here, when I look down, I do a straight bullet jump, but if I happen to look up, I will do a upwards bullet jump. So it's always the direction you look. It's actually just kind of like launching a cannonball. And as you can see here, you can chain all of those movements to make a decent movement. The good thing about synchronization of movement in Warframe is that the movements are hard-coded into the game. So it's more forgiving if you fuck up things. It's not like, for example, let's say Team Fortress 2, where advanced movement is just a result of doing several things at once and just happening to use the physics. Now here on this next clip, you will be able to see me doing some basic parkour. So let's talk about finger positioning, because that's really important as well. I wouldn't be recording my fingers if that wasn't important. So normally what I do is I use the thumb to press space. I use the index to press D, but also another key maybe to change weapons, R or something like that. I use the middle finger to press W and the ring finger to press A. Then my pinky is either on the shift or on the control. So what I do is when I want to do a bullet jump, I just press at the same time, like in a claw-like position hand, control and space. It's actually really easy, and I don't think you will get cramps for doing that unless you have already some base problem in the hand. And then just the other hand goes on mouse too, and then it's just a matter of practice, just switching between with the pinky and just changing things. Oh, and another thing, if you move and you suddenly press Ctrl while you're moving, you will glide across the floor. This is not very useful to perceive, but it looks cool as fucking hell. Especially because if you do it while gliding, you will do like a sort of karate jump kick, Naruto style. And yeah, this is always what cool kids do. Lastly, another save the day maneuver is wall holding. So if you're next to a wall and you press mouse 2, you will get stuck onto it. And there will be a sound played. When the sound ends, you will fall. This is useful because sometimes you need not to drop down, so you can hold onto a wall, go to another one, hold, go to another one, hold, etc, etc. You can do this quite a lot of times. Now there's one Warframe that has more holding time than the others, which is low-key. And yeah, and generally wall holding time can be moded, but yeah. Normal wall holding time is perfectly fine. And let me tell you something, every Warframe basic mobility until you need to do some really advanced stuff is perfectly fine. And to prove that, I'm going to do a parkour test with Atlas right now, here in the dojo.
Hey, that's pretty good.